I'm David Clark, wine merchant. I'm the wine manager of the Wine Connection in San Diego and Del Mar. And we're here today at the Edwards Winery in Ramona, here on this beautiful July day for the release of several of the new wines. And Vic, how did you get into this?
A hobby that got out of control,
Yeah.
I guess, you know. One thing just led to another. But I've always had a passion for wine, as you know.
I want you to talk a little bit about your choice to back Syrah and Petit Syrah as your varietals. Well, what's behind that decision?
Well, I've been growing Petit Syrah for about 20 years. I've always liked the grape. So we got the clippings, we planted it, and Petit Syrah tends to work really well here in California. I think it works exceptionally well here in the Ramona Valley, here at our site, and I think our Petits can stand with any Petit grown in the state. And a relatively inexpensive Petit Syrah can do 20 years in the bottle, no problem.
Your first wine here of the release is actually a combination of Syrah and Petit Syrah that you've made in a
Dry rosé.
a rather deeply colored dry rosé.
A little too much color.
Tell me about this wine. This has a absolutely beautiful aroma on it to begin with.
I thought, well, if we're going to do a dry rosé, I'm not really fond of sweet rosés. I figured, well, let's throw some Petit Syrah on it, because as far as I'm concerned, not too many people are putting Durif Petit Syrah into a rosé.
No, yeah.
I really had no idea what to expect. It's virtually sold out, and we released it yesterday. So.
Yeah, well, there you go. Of course, now one of the reasons Petit Syrah has such an important place in California winemaking, our old Italian planters loved this grape, and they loved it for the color that it brought to other wines. And
most people in California use Petit Syrah to darken up some of their other wines. Interestingly enough, I think at the moment there's over 200 producers of varietal bottled Petit Syrah, and most of them never sees a wine shop like yourself.
That's right.
It's all, and they do like 200 or 300 cases, because most of their Petit Syrah is used for blending into some of their other programs.
now this is this Barrel Select, the 2016 release, is the third release of Syrah from this vintage, from your vineyard. I was here this same time last year, which we released 2 Syrahs.
So we took a barrel of 2010 Syrah that had a nice mid-palate and finish and was in an older barrel, put it in stainless and locked it down in an airtight container. All of a sudden, the bouquet just came together, the mid-palate and finish. I'm rather surprised that it did this, because we literally pulled this out of the Edwards
So this
blend.
is in a completely anaerobic environment. There's no oxygen in here.
Very little.
Yeah, but I really like it. I think it's well done. I think it's appropriate to this is a full-bodied wine. It's got real good weight to it, and it's very expressive on the nose. This like the rosé also. This wine has a terrific aroma.
We're sampling our 2012 Edwards Petit Syrah.
Blackberry.
Blackberry, maybe a little boysenberry. What I was just commenting to Dave, the oak is now starting to come out. I'm getting vanilla, and I'm one of those believers when it comes to Petit Syrah. Petit Syrah, I think, in my opinion, isn't Petit Syrah if you don't age it in American oak.
These classic old Petit Syrahs that we've been talking about were made with American oak.
Well, I think Ridge was one of the first one of the first California wineries to start barrel aging stuff in American oak. And in those days, they were whiskey barrels, maybe not with so much char.
Yeah.
That's at least what I'm told.
And there's interest because of the cost of French oak. Well, obviously, wineries are always looking for ways to reduce the cost.
American oak is now $600 a barrel.
So it's caught up.
Now some of the French oak barrels we purchase can be $1,200, $1,300. It's unlike the old days where you get a decent barrel for $300.
So are these unfined and unfiltered?
Exactly. I think we've never can't afford a filter.
I was going to say, I don't recall ever seeing one here. So.
We have actually started putting it on the back label, but generally speaking, we just prefer to rack 3 to 5 times, give or take. I like our wines, say 6 to 8 years out. I think they're real nice. As far as our Petit Syrahs, our oldest commercial Petit Syrah was 2004. We had some of that on the holidays, and the fruit was diminished, the oak was diminished, the tannins had softened. It's still a wonderful red wine, but it wasn't what I want to see.
I have one of those in my cellar, so I'll open it this year.
I like the strength that it has in it, like I said, in around 6 or 8 years old. I like that intensity.
I think I told you earlier, a customer in my store who's a big fan of Vic's wines is Rex Pickett, who wrote Sideways, the famous Pinot Noir book. Rex has come in several times to buy them, and he loves to pour them to people to show them what San Diego County can do.
You relayed that story a few months to us, and that's what we want to see. That's what keeps Beth and I going, is people are starting to understand what we're doing and why we're doing this, and they're impressed that quality wine can be produced in the Ramona Valley.
All right, well, very good, Vic. It's been great talking wine with you as always. If you missed the release weekend at the winery, you can come into the shop on the coast and buy them as well. Thanks a lot, Vic.
Thank you.
All right, Asante.